Welcome back to Home Built Workshop. Today I'm going to fill the grain on this mahogany guitar body. I've got this guitar body that I've been working on and off for quite a while. I need to progress and get this thing done. This is the one that I did the quilted maple top for. I've got the mahogany all ready to go. I'm going to get the grain filled. Mahogany has a very porous grain. If you don't fill the grain, when you clear coat it, it's going to kind of be bubbly and wavy as the clear sinks down into the grain. To fill the grain, I'm going to use some of this Timbermate wood filler. This stuff's really cool. It's a water-based product, so it's completely non-toxic. It's not going to hurt you if you get it on you. It's not going to have a really bad smell, although it does kind of smell like Band-Aids a little bit. It's kind of weird, but it's not going to hurt you. If it dries out, you can reconstitute it just by pouring some water in there. You can thin it with water, and that's what we're going to do for this body. I've got the body of the guitar sanded all down to 220. There's still a little bit of final sanding that I need to do on some of these curves, but I believe I'm going to be able to knock that out when I sand the filler down. I've masked off the top just with some painter's tape, and I've gone around the edge just to prevent any of the filler getting on the side of the maple. I intend to do kind of a raw maple fake binding when I do this. So I don't want any of the filler to get in there. I don't want that to show in case I get a little messy with the application. All I'm going to do is scoop out a little bit of the filler. And I'm going to add a little bit of warm water to it just to get it kind of a runny paste. And that's a little too runny, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Once I have it mixed to the consistency that I want, I'm just going to take a clean rag and wipe it on the surface of the wood. Now you don't have to use a rag. Some people will thin this out a little more and brush it on. There's several ways you can apply it. Really, you just need to get it on the wood and spread around evenly so that it gets down into all the pores. I like to use a rag because I can go in kind of a swirly pattern. The reason I like to swirl it around is because it covers all directions on the grain to make sure that I don't miss any spots. There's not really a science to this process, at least as far as I'm concerned. You're really just trying to work the stuff down into the pores of the wood and make sure you get everything filled. It does have a really funky smell. It dries pretty quick too. You can see on the back here, it's actually almost dry in several spots. And I can see a few spots that I missed, so I'm going to go back and touch those up. You want to try to use as little as possible. You don't want to cake it on there, and if you can avoid it, because the more you put on, the thicker it is. That's going to be more sanding that we have to do later. I think we pretty well got it filled. We're going to give that a little bit of time to dry. We'll come back and sand it down. As soon as the Timbermate's dry, we'll just need to sand it down. You can tell it's dry because it changes from that wet color to kind of this light pasty kind of color. Really didn't take all that long to dry. For my particular application, it took maybe about an hour, hour and a half. Time to get my superhero alien gear on. I'm going to start with 220 grit in my random orbit sander. It would definitely be quicker with a lower grit paper, but I don't want to risk over sanding it. I'm going to peel the tape back along the edge, just so I don't have to worry about trying to sand up next to the tape. And we'll just sand the rest of it by hand. Hand sanding. I don't know why do I despise that so much? Another good thing about this stuff is the sand's really easy. So if you do happen to get a heavy coat, or kind of a high spot in one area or another, it does sand off pretty easy, but it's best to try to only apply, like I mentioned, just enough to get you by. After a fair amount of sanding, I've got the timber mate removed, and if you look really close, you can see that it's down in the pores and not on the surface. Now you can notice the coloring on here, and I was worried about that, so I took a wet rag and wiped it on, and I can't see the remains of the timber mate that are down in the wood at all. So I know that it's going to be just fine when I put some clear on this. So pretty much this guitar body is ready for the clear. I've got a couple things yet that I need to do before I get to that point, but as far as filling the grain, ready to go. So thanks for watching this video. If this is your first time to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you. You're awesome. I appreciate it. Don't forget you can follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Also, don't forget to visit my website, homebuiltworkshop.com, and see what's happening over there. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. I need a stick. How come I can't ever find a stick? I've got a scrap bin full of sticks around here and I can never find one. Ugh, when I need it. Haha, stick. Somehow I didn't put this away right. I usually keep it in a toolbox drawer. But it's all full of sawdust inside. That's not cool. Still had it in the drawer, but somehow it got all dusty in there. And the filter falls off. I kind of need that. I'm not breathing sawdust, so